What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. We got the co-host Amanda back. What's up, Amanda? Fun 2 weeks of football, huh?
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. I'm stoked to be here. We've got some interesting stories this week.
Absolutely. Chaos everywhere. We got John Abraham back, 15-year NFL pro. John, great to have you on.
Always good to be with the AAA now. That's what I'm gonna start calling her, Amanda, Alex, and Abe. Hey, what's
I
up?
like it.
There you go.
That's a good group.
AAA.
Let's get into this. We're 2 weeks into the season, and it's been awesome. Chaos everywhere. John, I want to get your thoughts on the Bills-Dolphins game on Thursday night. With Tua going down with yet another concussion, a lot of people talking about should he consider retiring and all this stuff. He just got paid a lot of money, huge contract. And for me, it would be really tough to retire right now just because of that great offense around him. This is the best chance of his career to really do something and go on a deep playoff run. What do you think of what Tua's dealing with right now?
Honestly, as a player, I ended my career, even though it's 15 years, I ended my career on a concussion. And
Yeah.
the big thing is when you sign a contract like he did, and being the kind of people person he is and a people pleaser, he feels like he still owes these people stuff. So,
Yeah.
and that's a tough situation, especially as a game you played, from Alabama to coming to Miami, being a high pick, and having everyone around you expecting so much. And even if you love the game, your common sense tell you that you don't need to play no more. But like I said, the fact that you feel like I owe these people, they took a chance on me, knowing that I wasn't the biggest quarterback, knowing that, I came from a situation that, might not be the best for this team. And they took a chance on me. They gave me a contract that everybody was saying that I didn't deserve at the time. They're saying that, Tyreek Hill was the guy that made me look better and things like that.
Yeah.
So in his mind, it's going to be a lot to fight. I can say honestly, I did my 15, and would I change it? Probably not. But definitely, I think about my last concussion, and I thought I was fine until I got the doctor's report. Because and a lot of times you feel like you're faking. Like you'll get hit, and then like when you come to or whatever is going on, you will feel like you're fine. You will look around and everything is good, and people can be talking to you, but you're sitting here trying to I guess, rationalize in your mind what's going on. Because once you get fully back, you feel like you're fully back. But then when you start having to do the test, and then you start having to, worry about sleeping, you have to worry about a lot of different things that people will never see. Like, oh, Tua, he's fine. He looks good. He knows his plays. But then, might forget the keys to his Bentley, or he might forget the code to his house. It's just small things. But I think in this situation, even for me, it was tough because, like, being that young and saying that I need to call it quits, but he have so many more opportunities outside of football. People gonna want to talk to him. He still is an incredible person and an incredible thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can find a way to still give him his money in some kind of way. But I would definitely have to. I couldn't see the NFL letting him get back on the field. That's my big thing. Like, even if he's saying he don't want to retire, I can't see the NFL saying that it's okay to have this guy back on the field. Like they said, we have made so many moves and have done so much stuff, and they, like, the hit wasn't even like the old type hits. So
Yeah.
let's be rational and just say, look, we'll give you half of what you got, and you just get the hell on. We just don't want this issue no more. We don't want this issue no more.
They announced that they were putting on IR today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be at least week 8 till we hear like what the decision is going to be. But I think this game kind of distracted a little bit. Like, obviously the concussion with Tua, like they were having issues coming into that, and this was going to be their best shot at beating the Bills because they've, had an issue with it the past few years. But look at the Bills roster and where they're at. Like, Josh Allen doesn't have a lot of good chemistry with his receivers right now. He clearly misses Stephon Diggs, and they lost so many big names in this offseason. I mean, Milano, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Gabe Davis, Teron Johnson. Like, this is the weakest Bills the Dolphins have faced, but now, like, that's obviously not the story anymore. And I'm super intrigued to see how that kind of pans out in the next divisional matchup between these two.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if they make a move. Ryan Tannehill's available. He's a former Dolphin. who was it? TJ Hushmanzada today said that with Bryce Young getting benched in Carolina, that imagine Bryce Young and Mike McDonald's offense with those weapons all around him. It could be a really good fit. It's going to be interesting to see. And to your point, John, I feel like the NFL always says it cares about the player health and you would expect it to do the right thing here. But I feel like the NFL cares about money more. And as long as they can get a doctor to medically clear him, they're going to want to bring Tua back after the 4 weeks of IR, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's going to separate a lot of people if I'm not saying that if he's medically, like even just being, I've seen people get concussions, but they had to put him on IR. So it's whatever they're looking at on that paper or whatever they've seen or whatever that test was after the game, it couldn't have been positive if they're going to put you on IR. Because usually they'll say, he'll be out next week, he'll be out this week, and then we'll put him back in. But they put you on IR. They really trying to force him to be like, look, get the hell on, man. Like, we ain't. Because, they say if he retired, he can't get it. But if he's forced retired, which it looks like they're trying to show that you need to retire. So you still can get your full money, but you need to retire because I just don't want to see him. I just don't want to see anything, I'm just, the only thing I can see is the NFL, he comes back, first game, something happens, and then all this melee is going to come back from people who didn't play the game and don't understand, like, the importance of it is the Tua, not like his health right now, because our common sense goes out the window. Our common sense goes out the window. I'm doing something I love, so all that's out the window. But I think the Bills play well. I think both running backs did extraordinary, and I think that was pretty much the game. You can't really tell. I would have liked to see Tua finish the game. Like which we all would have, but he wasn't having a great game anyway. And
like the first pick wasn't his fault. I think it was that hard hit and the second pick that kind of threw off his confidence. Like a pick that, like, I mean, your receiver caused that first pick, so like I wouldn't hold that one against him. But the second one was, I feel like Tua winning is so important to him, and he's got so much heart in the game. I feel like when he makes a bad play like that, he kind of thinks about it a little too much, and then he was just distracted for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it takes it first.
So shout out to the Bills. They were just they updated the Super Bowl odds. Bills have the best odds to win the Super Bowl this year.
Doubt it.
It's what the internet and the numbers say right now at this moment. I didn't say they're going to. This is not my opinion.
Doubt it.
I mean, we do know they like to choke in big games, though. So
Bills are 2-0 playing the 0-2 Jags in Buffalo. Amanda, I think this is a sneaky where the Bills could get caught here. I know I've been optimistic on Jacksonville and they're 0-2, but this is a game that they could sneak up on Buffalo if they don't take them very seriously.
I mean, I was on the fence about picking the Jags this week, and they're just not quite figuring out their chemistry yet. But I think this is gonna be scrappy. This next matchup, I'm intrigued for sure.
T-Law was 14 for 30, right?
T-Law's been struggling, some turnovers as well.
So, and you said you think it's going to be an upset?
It could be. I mean, Trevor Lawrence potential.
Let's not talk about could. Anything could happen. I hate people.
The second half of week 2, Trevor Lawrence shows up, they could absolutely win. If the first half of week 2, Trevor Lawrence shows up, this man threw 16 yards in the first half of the game. 16. The punter for the Lions threw more yards in the game than Trevor Lawrence did in the first half. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like, that sounds completely made up.
Is he consistent enough now to be the quarterback that deserved the money he got and deserved how we talking about him? Has he proven yet? But we're putting so much emphasis on what he did in the past and what he possibly could be, almost like we do Kyle Pitts. Like, when are we going to like start saying these guys have to put up consistent numbers? Because I'm not saying he's not it's hard for me to say he's a bad quarterback because he's not. We obviously know, but when the consistency gets there and they start really winning, we can start patting him on the back. We're still patting him on the back for what we think he can do. And, it's getting kind of old out there. I'm watching, every time I watch Jackson, people are like, man, Trevor going to do. I'm like, bro, he went 14 for 30.
Are we watching the same game?
Yeah. I mean, he playing well, but I'm like, Etienne has played decent. I think he had like 50 yards rushing or something like that. But this squad, the defense playing well. I'm watching the defense, and the defense is getting after it. But I'm like, the offense it seems like an offense that should put up 20 to 30 every game,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
automatically. And I'm not seeing that right now. I don't know if it's the play calling or I don't know if it's Trevor. Like it's a tough decision
And it's funny too, because he's got so much potential on paper, and I never
on
quite
paper.
bought into it. I've never been hype on Trevor Lawrence.
Well, he
I
went to
wasn't.
Clemson, so it's tough for me.
He has a
That's
I'm a
what it
Gamecock.
is.
Gamecock. I'm a Gamecock, so it's tough for me to even.
Yeah.
That's
I like him though, but I'm like shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got a lot to prove. It's a big year for Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
and you got that rookie Brian Thomas who's supposed to unlock the offense's potential. So it's a big game. Trevor needs to show up to this one in Buffalo and play well against Josh Allen. But John, I want to get your take on Saints at Cowboys. The Cowboys were so dominant defensively against the Browns in Week 1, completely shutting down Deshaun Watson. And then they're at home. It was their home opener, and they allowed Derek Carr and the Saints to come in and put up 44 points on them.
Yeah.
And we've seen this now a couple times. It's the same defense that allowed Green Bay to throw up a ton of points on them in the playoff game. What's wrong with this Cowboy defense? You got Micah Parsons and all these weapons.
Think they're finally getting Kamara into the games.
Yeah.
And because think about Kamara, if you look at Kamara's career, I really thought that he got like 1,000 yards every year. He's a spotty runner, but when he gets heated, like when he finds he can run on a team and when he can trick a team and he can do certain things, he puts up crazy stats like this.
Yeah.
They really paid him for 4 to 5 games a year, and this is one of his games that he had against the Cowboys to he showed his butt. Like literally every time he touched the ball, he was scoring. And I can't knock the defense really for that because they probably wasn't game planning for him. Because I'm saying, like, it's not like if you look at his career, you would think that it was like every week 150 yards, 150 yards. No, he might have 600 yards rushing for the year, 700 here, and like 1,000 altogether with receiving. But when you get him in a situation, when you get him in a situation where the D line is going to be going up the field and he can have a chance to outrun those guys because they're behind him now, he's going to put up numbers like this. I don't think Dak played consistent. I think man, sometimes they pay people, you got to give them a couple weeks to relax. So I just got my check. I had to call mom. Yeah, we're going to get the new house and get in the car. Yeah, let me get the boat for the off season.
Too much pressure right now.
Yeah, it's not even pressure. It's just like, it's kind of like your vacation is over, but you're still celebrating in your mind. So you're living off that high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're living off that high. Think about CD got paid. He got paid. They got Zeke back. Zeke's playing decent for Zeke. Like, not saying he's playing astonishing. We got to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, for Zeke now,
we have to add that caveat on there.
You have to. Yeah. So I think they played well, but after the league got too stretched out, you can see the game was over. I mean, for both sides of the ball, New Orleans was looking like they were in New Orleans, like literally. Like I'm sitting there watching them. Yeah, I mean, you got the quarterback out there, Carr out there dancing and doing all kinds of stuff. You got to feel bad about that. That's just embarrassing.
Alex loves Derek Carr. And we've talked about Devontae Adams moving to New Orleans to follow Derek or going to the Jets because he doesn't seem like he's having a good time in Las Vegas right now. But Derek Carr has led a scoring drive on every possession so far this season. That's like Derek Carr is solid, but like I've never been hype about him. But like
I think he's consistent
these
now.
numbers are so consistent this year.
I think he's finally comfortable. I think he's finally comfortable. I think even with Kirk Cousins coming into Atlanta, that first week was kind of tough. Even talking about throwing Trevor Lawrence, like it's time for him to be comfortable by now that we shouldn't have to question whether you're going to be this kind of guy. And I think Carr has enough experience in the past, and he finally got the players that he wants around him that he's comfortable with. People don't understand how it is comfortable when you want to see that guy get 20 yards. You want to see that guy get a 30-yard pass. You might have receivers in the locker room or in your establishment at that time that you really don't want to see succeed. And it's not like we're trying to not throw to them. It's just like, I'd rather find a guy that I'm comfortable with throwing with. This guy been talking trash all week. He ain't running the routes right in practice. I don't want to force it to him, but I'll force it to a guy that I'm comfortable.
One thing Hugh Jackson has talked about a few times that he's been on our podcast is having the guy in the right situation with the right coaching staff to flourish. Because I mean, look at Baker Mayfield's career before Tampa Bay. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he had moments of, like flashes of greatness, but like he was never like solid. Like Carolina, what did he do there? The Browns scapegoated him. Like it was never like a great situation. But now, where he's at currently, he's doing really well.
Well, it's very interesting that they had Pete Carmichael as the Saints offensive coordinator forever, for like 16 years. Just this offseason, they moved on from him and brought in Clint Kubiak. And that seems to be opening up the Saints offense. 91 points scored through the first 2 weeks is incredible.
Right.
I don't think that they're going to keep this up. I don't think this is the best offense in football. It's just a hot start, but it's an incredible start. And to do that especially against Dallas, it's a statement in Jerry World. So you got to give them credit for that. But maybe that new offensive coordinator is unlocking something there. I'm not worried about Dallas either. I think they're, a playoff team. Let's go Tampa Bay at Detroit. Amanda, you picked the Lions here. The Lions beat them twice last year, including the playoffs, but they were both hard-fought games. What do you think was the difference this time around? Baker seems very comfortable.
He does. And I was rooting for Tampa Bay. Baker's my guy. I love him. But I think I put a little bit too much confidence in the Lions because they beefed up that secondary. I thought that would show up more, but I mean, the Bucks were just smooth. Like a lot of like really slick plays. The receivers were getting out and open, avoiding some really good defense. So I mean, Godwin was fantastic in this game.
Yeah.
That's one of the best games he's had. And yeah, it was just a pretty connection to watch between the two of them. And Detroit's front seven, they tried their best, but I mean, there's only so much you can do for the way the secondary showed up in this game. Like there was no overcoming that. And I thought they would be better. Like they moved things around. Like it looked great in the preseason. And I don't know what happened in this game, but that Detroit secondary fell apart completely. And the Lions were missing opportunities to take the lead late in the game.
Yeah.
And you and I talk all kinds of crap about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth and, first quarter shenanigans, but it was just a rough game for the Lions and Tampa Bay was just smooth.
And Goff was a little off too, in my opinion, especially late. Couldn't get it into the end zone. John, have you ever, like Aiden Hutchinson, 4.5 sacks? I looked up yours. You had a 4-sack game in 2001 in your career with the Jets. How do you, how are you going to have a 4-sack game and then the team lose and your secondary can't stop anybody? That's got to be so frustrating.
Not at all. I'm happy. He got 5.5 sacks for the season.
Yeah.
I think what's remarkable is how Baker's playing. And when I say that, he's not putting up numbers that are MVP caliber, but he's playing winning football. And I think a lot of people don't understand, him rushing for 34 yards, getting that 11-yard touchdown scamper, which as long as his career is actually funny as hell. But also it's showing that he's comfortable and he believes he can win. I don't know what Detroit, well, we know what Detroit's doing. We know Campbell, we know what he's going to do, but the fake punt, the certain things that you're doing are cute, and if it works, it works. But if it fails, it's making you look bad. I mean, Goff had 34 for 55, so he's out there slinging it around. And Baker went 12 of 19 and won the game. So obviously, whatever you're thinking or whatever you're doing is not working. And I think Baker, like I said, people don't understand. It's more important to win a game and knowing how to control a game and knowing when it's the right thing. And no mistakes, really. I mean, Detroit had a lot of mistakes, turnovers that would put you in a bind. I see that with a lot of teams. Even watching the Falcons last week, they had 3 turnovers. They played Pittsburgh. And, a lot of people were saying how they couldn't win in Philly. And I'm looking like, no, they just can't lose. Like Detroit is finding a way to lose. I mean, you're playing well. And even though Goff, you could say he didn't throw well, he didn't do it. He completed 34 passes.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. Yeah, but like the turnovers, if you're completing 34, but then you turn over 3 or you turn over 2 and turnovers end up being big.
Yes.
Well, we talked a
100%.
lot last season about Desmond Ritter having the most interceptions. He also had the most passes. Like when you just fling the ball that many times, like it's going to get picked off. But what was the game plan here? You have two of the best running backs in the league, and you're
100%.
passing the ball 55 times. Like
On top of that, did you see Vita Vea left the game in the first half with injury? Their run stopper. They're
Mhm.
already down Khalija Cansey. Antoine Winfield's out. Run the ball. You got two of the best running backs in the league.
For fans watching on TV, like why is Gibbs not just running the ball? Like I was so baffled by that.
You don't think sometimes teams will just try stuff on certain teams. They think that they may just win the game. Like I really feel like teams are doing that early in the season right now. They're trying
Things out.
Yeah, they're trying funny things out that we think are very weird because they're like, okay,
That's
we're gonna
fair.
try. Yeah, I'm just giving my 2
No,
cents because
that makes sense,
I don't
especially 'cause
understand a lot.
they
Yeah.
won a big game for them last week, like overtime win against their old quarterback. Like, so I feel like they were riding high. Like, all right, we started the season 1-0, which is, you know, a new feeling for Detroit. They don't do that very often. So like maybe they're like, all right, well, let's test out. Like we know our run game is solid. Let's see what happens if we. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that because otherwise I don't have any other explanation for why Goff is throwing and ignoring Gibbs and Montgomery because that duo is filthy.
Yeah, trying to find that main receiver. I know you got Think, but it's like also you want to see what's going to be that backup plan. What's going to be the guys that we can depend on. Sometimes games are also practice too. You know, on that Monday after the game, you want to chop up film and see what this guy did and what's he's good in this area. Even though people like fans like us will watch me like what the hell is going on, but they can have these certain amount of plays that we need to get this guy this ball. And no matter how hard we do, we're going to try to force it in. We're going to do what we got to do, not really paying attention to the other players around there, if you get what I'm saying.
Isn't doing what you do best most important, though? Like stacking wins. I mean, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the better you establish them and the more rhythm they get, the better the team is, right? Like, I get what you're saying, but...
Yeah, but sometimes, like I said, like, you take chances at the beginning of the year to see what your team is. You know what I mean? Like if we know for a fact that we're good with the running game, let's make sure Goff is completely satisfied with the pass. When you pass 55 times, your quarterback cannot say shit. He can't be like, I ain't getting enough chance. No, we're getting chances now. So, but now if you see why we're using the running backs a little more, you see why we're running the ball more because you did 55 and you put this up. Okay, so we're gonna stay on the ground. So when it gets close to this game, you'll know why. We love you, Goff. We're going to give you your touches, but right now, you've seen what happened.
He said, shouldn't they focus on what they do best? Wouldn't that be turning over on 4th down? I mean, their favorite thing is turning over on downs. I don't know if we want them to
Well, Amanda can talk because her Packers pulled off a win against the Colts without Jordan Love.
I picked against them.
I'm so mad at this, John. As a Bears fan, you gonna plug in Malik Willis and he's gonna look like a Pro Bowl quarterback? Like, what is going on?
Jacobs, 32.
Yeah, Jacobs is a monster.
Hey, how you was just talking about the running game. So Detroit feels like their quarterback can be their strong point, so they went away from the running game. Correct? They know dang well that Willis ain't gonna be our guy. They told Jacobs, you're gonna touch this ball 30, 40 times. Get ready. and they ended up winning the game, and that was a great game plan. But that's because they didn't have Jordan Love. Now, if we had Jordan Love in the game, I don't think that he would have touched the ball 32 times. And next week it may be the same, it may not. But also that's just good football. That's good coaching. Somebody's crying about winning a game, and I don't know who it is. Maybe Amanda. Hold on. Maybe somebody's in the room. I can't believe it.
I'm not crying. I'm just saying I don't know if I have confidence in it continuing. So
not with Malik. You need Jordan Love back and healthy.
Yeah. Well, my thing is going into this game, I didn't trust Malik. Like he's got a great story. Like no one can hate the guy. Like he's gotten like what he's been through to get to where he is. Like amazing story, lovable guy, whatever. He had a quarterback rating of 39. A spiked ball is 39.6.
Wow.
His career rating was less than spiking a ball. Like how is that even possible?
That's amazing.
Right?
Well,
And then
To
he
me,
won this game, and
we,
I was nervous. So that's how like I'm
Yeah.
still like, yeah, they won, but like that was scary. I picked the Colts. I was on the fence, but I picked the Colts just
No,
because.
no turnovers. No turnovers. Let's give him
that's the
credit. Yeah,
key.
no
Yeah.
turnovers. You don't have to play to win. Like he's in a situation you don't have to play to win. You just got to play not to lose. And that's what I said last
Exactly.
week about some certain teams. People don't understand that coming in as a quarterback, you don't have to sit here and try to win a starting job. If you're consistent, if you look at Pittsburgh, and for me personally, it would be hard for me to sit that quarterback down, even though you have your starter. I would be comfortable enough if we're winning games with this guy.
Yeah.
I got to keep him in there. So
If you're
Malik, great
undefeated.
job of not trying to do too much. Great job of probably getting in there that week and really studying that team and studying what offensive plays are going to be best for me. I'm not here trying to get the starting job like I said before. With some quarterbacks, they want to come in there and be gunslingers and like I'm gonna throw 30 and so I can get signed to another team. Malik, look, you saying 39? He's saying I can make 39 million being a backup for the rest of my career. I'm gonna do this. Look, I'm gonna get this win out the way. I'm gonna make my chart look good. So whenever I need to sign for another team, they can be like, "Well, you seen that Green Bay guy? That was
Yeah.
we need him here. If something happens, we know he can manage a game and he can keep us in the running."
Yeah, and I mean,
Absolutely.
16 points in this game, I don't think is enough to like plan our season the next 3 to 6 weeks around Malik Willis. But I will say that defense, 3 picks. I mean,
Yes.
the
Well,
Colts offense was questionable, and their third down efficiency, 3 out of 9 or 2 out of 9. That's not how you win a game. Indianapolis had a rough game here, so I think it was a great start for him. But Green Bay's defense has really been like they've been a quiet star that they've been building over there on that defense. So I'm really into the Green Bay defense this year, regardless of who's at quarterback. I think that's been a really nice development for Packers fans because our defense has been questionable over the years. So it's a nice change.
Xavier McKinney coming in, making plays right off the bat.
So good.
2 picks already. I'm a little bit concerned about this Colts team. You got Anthony Richardson throwing 3 picks in this game. The Colts, in a game they should have won. The Colts falling to 0-2, and now their defensive tackle DeForest Buckner is going on IR. So hopefully they are 0-3 after they play my Bears this weekend as well. So going to be interesting for the Colts.
Anthony Richardson still is a rookie. He still is a rookie.
Yeah. Last season didn't count for him.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever we get for him this year, you're not looking for a playoff. I mean, they possibly can make the playoffs. You never know how the year is going to balance out. But if I'm in that organization, I'm happy to see him on the field. I'm happy to see him making these incredible throws that he's making, so you can see the upside of that guy. And like I said, this is the rookie year for him, so we can't expect. We're not expecting what they seen in Houston last year.
Yeah,
exactly. You can live with some mistakes, some ups and downs. The biggest thing with him, I think you want to see Anthony Richardson stay healthy this year, right?
Yeah, and get that out of your system. Get them 3 picks out of your system. Know you can do it, and know you still can possibly win a game. I think people don't understand like mistakes are the best thing to go through early in the season, early in your career, so you know that I can survive. Because a lot of times people trust me, I was the worst person. If I missed a sack, it was like I think my whole career is over with. So get these 3 picks out of the way. It's part of the NFL. It happens, and just continue your career. You can talk trash about that because it's going to be another day like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Houston, so let's talk about that game. I mean,
Texans Bears.
It's nothing amazing. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback. People expecting him just to be this great quarterback coming in as a rookie. He only got 1 passing touchdown, no passing touchdowns.
No touchdowns,
touchdowns at all. But last week they was like, oh my God, he won. And I'm looking like he didn't do a dang thing. Like they defense, and I think that's the salute to the Bears for their defense playing so well and not getting credit for how good they're playing, even playing against a good Houston team that is simply overpowering for most teams with the receivers they have, the quarterback experience they have at this young age, and the running game they have. So, and it was a game they could have won at the end, and it had nothing to do with Caleb. So you can say, hey, Caleb was pissed off and all this and that, but Caleb, you ain't had nothing to do with it, really, bro. You were just back there throwing, the rock. But I can say he did show flashes of when he was in college being able to break tackles in the backfield, but also you got to be smart enough to know that it's the NFL now. Throw it away, line back up. Don't try to force it because, you know, the DBs in college were different. The DBs, the receivers in college were different. You know, you can find open spaces when you do stupid stuff like that. After a while, they're going to have to sit down and tell them, like, either run the ball for 2 yards, throw it away, and we'll line back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. Ryan Poles is on my shit list because he's been here. This is his third year here, his third off season. He's had 3 years to fix this offensive line. And Caleb, when he left USC, thought those issues are over. It might be worse here in Chicago than what he had at USC. He's running for his life, getting hit constantly. We can't even run the ball. DeAndre Swift, we paid a bunch of money to. So far this year, he's got 24 carries for 48 yards and a first down. That's it. And so I'm just so tired of, as a Bears fan, like, what's the recipe to ruin a young star quarterback, a quarterback with a bunch of potential? Put him behind an offensive line that is terrible and have him running for his life and getting hit and hurt his confidence. And I know it's early in the season and he's got a lot of room to grow and develop, but I don't see how this offensive line gets any better. You know, you wait until week 2 to panic and say your offensive line is trash. How are you supposed to get better? I don't know what the Bears' plan was. You know, the same thing they did to Justin Fields. His first start was the Browns, and he got sacked like 9 times. It's like, what are you doing? I don't get it.
He did look better.
Yeah, he did.
I saw some improvement there, and I was rooting for him. He fell apart a little bit in that second half. 3 consecutive drives, what was back-to-back picks, and then a sack on the next possession. Like there were some rough plays there, but he, you know, coming into the first half of the game, he seemed to be connecting better with his receivers. There seemed to be, you know, some chemistry building. So we're, you know, seeing improvement in at least 2 quarters a week. So, you know, maybe we'll get 4 quarters out of him at some point. But definitely a regression in the second half of the game. And
yeah,
stupid penalties in this game at key moments on both sides of the ball. That illegal hands penalty by the Texans, like that, idiotic.
And then them throwing punches on the sideline and getting away with it. Like, what are we doing?
That was so wild. How do you not throw a flag? Like, obviously, like, they didn't see it happen, but, like, my man punched a guy in the face in a crowd of, like, 15 people. Like, that's fine. We'll just find him later.
Yeah.
Like,
John, did you ever get away with something like that? Punching a player in the face and no flag?
Oh, yeah, all the time. It was different back then. You know, we ain't had all the social media and all these cameras like that. We had, like, one camera, one guy. Hey, once we seen the ball was passed, everything was fair game. Like, y'all don't understand how nasty it got down there. We punching, throwing all kind of blows. Yeah, it was definitely like that.
The trenches. You hear stories about the trenches for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bears held the Texans to just 19 points. Like John said, it was a 1-possession game late. So I love the Bears defense. At some point, hopefully their offense can get going. John, your Jets with a big win, a bounce back win, beating the Titans in Nashville 24-17. The Jets are looking pretty good. Will McDonald with 3 sacks. Aaron Rodgers looked better in the second game against Tennessee. And then how about the young rookie running back Braylon Allen with 2 touchdowns? And he's a big dude. Like, he can run people over. He's only 20 years old.
I don't know what Levis is drinking or what he got going on over there, but his decision making is he's trying to be Brett Favre or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
like the last couple of weeks, his decision making, and I'm not trying to knock him as a player or as a person. I don't know what, because sometimes you try to do a little too much. It's like take a sack. Sometimes you're throwing the ball backwards. You getting it. I watched the game, and it just seems like his receivers and him are not on the same page. I'm watching the teams, and when you see think about it, you even seen the head coach told him, "What the was that?" Like he had to tell him, like when he did that play, and you gotta understand that goes through the whole locker room. So you might see him in practice, and people probably be like, "Dude, what is he doing?" Because if it's usually if you make a mistake and it's one mistake, you don't really get mad. You know, if your kid drops something, you be like, "Hey, stop." But then like it's a repetitive thing. Like, okay, now, dude,
like just get it together, bro.
You seen how the coach was just like, it wasn't like, "Come on, man, bad." He was like, "What the?" We
Yeah.
told you not to we told you not to do
Like
that
we done
last
talked
week.
about this kid.
We
The
told
hell.
yeah.
Yeah.
We told you not to do that last week,
Mhm.
and you're repetitive. So it was a good game for the Jets. I think Aaron played. You can tell that Aaron is older, but you can tell also that he's comfortable now. He's getting a lot
Yeah.
more comfortable. It seems like his mobility is there. Um, it was good to see the rookie running back, play very well. I think as the defense, I wanted Johnson. I thought Johnson could have had like more sacks than
Yeah.
probably
Mhm.
that McDonald had. I was watching him. He's got to use his right arm more. He got to stick that right arm in and rip better and get there because he's getting close every time. But
Yeah.
and I know they're proud of seeing 99 in that backfield getting sacks like that because the dude like a buck 05. He's skinny as hell. Like I
I
seen him in
know.
person. I seen him in person. I was like, bro. They were like, man, he just can't gain weight. He's a specimen now. He's one of those guys. Kind of like just ripped up and all that. But
Mhm.
seeing that and having this win, I think is going to be very vital for them because playing the Bills, playing the guys Miami, playing the guys in their division, you're gonna get opportunities to get sacks. Even if they don't, Miami doesn't have Tua, they're still gonna want to throw the ball because they
Yeah.
have those receivers that they paid, so they're gonna want to get
Use
those
them.
people out of the way. So hopefully, it can show what kind of defense they have.
I think for me, the like best example of this game, like the highlighted moment would be that backward shovel pass that Will Levis threw for no reason.
That's
Like
exactly what I was talking about.
that represents the whole
He,
game. Like just the what the fuck are you doing? Like
No sense.
he did the
why?
same
Like
thing against Chicago in week 1 too. I don't know
But
what
that's
that
what I'm
is.
saying. Like, so they had to tell him after that Chicago, after
mhm,
that
Yeah.
bonehead play,
yeah.
then you come back like not trying to take a sack, you throw it backwards. Now, if he threw it forward, we all for it because it make more sense. Like it's saying, like he said, he's smarter than that. His coach said in the press conference, he's smarter than that. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna go for a sack, throw it forward,
Yep.
get an incomplete pass. Don't throw it backwards that it can. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
with Amanda. I'm like, trust me. I was watching the game. Like, dude, chill out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the cover photo for the game right there.
yeah,
So the Titans are 0-2, but they've outgained both weeks. When do we think they start considering Mason Rudolph?
they won't.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep riding with Will Levis just because they're
0-4?
hoping.
They
Yeah,
won't.
they're hoping he's the franchise quarterback. I think the Titans will even live with a down season if it gets Will Levis to develop. He's a second-year quarterback, just like Anthony Richardson. He didn't start his full rookie year, so there's going to be ups and downs. He's got to learn to protect the ball better. But I mean, Mason Rudolph did win a few games in a row with the Steelers and get him into the playoffs. But it's hard to envision them benching Will Levis. If they do, it's a lot like benching Bryce Young in Carolina. Like that's a statement decision.
Yeah.
No, I think that's stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's definitely getting his ass handed to him, but I think he needs more of that to build his confidence. I think that he's going to end up being like one of these Baker Mayfield stories, or even
He's the
a
right
Geno Smith,
situation.
even a Geno Smith type.
Yeah.
Geno floated around for years, being a backup. Then he got his opportunity, and maybe Bryce just needs sitting down. I ain't saying it's the worst thing. I think it's bad for him. I think he's going to end up eventually being a great quarterback. I think that we just might have to wait a few years. A few years, like 5-6 years from now. I was like, remember we was talking about him? Now he's somebody get injured and he has to come in the field like
Yeah.
3-4 last games, and he's mature now. He ain't worrying about running. He ain't worrying about being feared and nothing like that. And he's just gonna go out there and play.
No, I mean, if I were to ask you guys, when you look at Bryce Young and his struggles, are you going to say that's all on Bryce? Or are you going to say, man, the Panthers haven't done shit for him since he's been there? You know what I mean? He's bad. He's had different coaching staffs. It hasn't been a good situation,
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna give them a little bit of a pass for this week because the refs were against them in this one. Did you guys see that overturned play early in the game?
Well, against the Chargers?
Yeah. So the
No, I
defense
didn't see it.
recovered a lost fumble near the red zone. The replay officials they ruled it a turnover, and then they replayed it, and they were like, "No, never mind, it wasn't a turnover." But like there was not enough evidence to overrule it. So like they literally recovered a fumble and then officiating was like, no, never mind. You didn't. Like it was wild too. So like that's not a great way to start off a game. And
Yeah.
coming off an ass kicking by the Saints, I mean, 47-10 last week sucked. So coming into this game and then realizing right off the bat that you're fighting the refs too, like that's some incompetent refereeing. So coming into this after a butt kicking and then realizing the refs are making bad calls, like not a game for high confidence. But
I think the refs have been bad so far this year
they
too.
have.
I
I
didn't want to say that, but I'm like, yeah, because even the call on, and I know this is completely our thing. The call on what's that damn on Hurts for spiking the ball. That could have been a critical play. I mean, it didn't really matter, but I'm like, dude, he spiked the ball and y'all get to delay a game. That was just like
that Eagles game had me yelling at the refs.
There were other calls too, but that didn't make any sense. And I was not saying I was going for the foul kings or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, just seeing calls like that, I'm looking like, come on, man, like that's just excitement. This is not the NBA. You don't make a kind of call like the NBA. They spike the ball in the NBA. You give them a personal foul. But I'm like, dude. These cats can dance, they can spin the ball, they can do all kind of stuff, and you're going for spiking the ball after a first down run? Come on, man.
No, they got on Drake London after the go-ahead touchdown.
He did gun stuff though.
Yeah.
You can't do the gun stuff. You can't do the gun stuff.
I'm so confused on that because you see college players doing the gun thing, you see NFL players doing it. Sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, but his was the full-on machine gun. I think that was
he was doing, bro.
The official went to the coach and was like, "No, man, he did this." Like the official reenacted it. He's like, "No, you can't."
He was in front of the official.
Like, he was right in front of the
ref. You can't cut in their face, man. Come on,
Alex. He was like, "This, find me." Like, and he gonna get one of those. He gonna get one of these letters in that thing, like, fine, $15,000.
Who was it? Someone did it. I thought it was college. Someone did one that was
college. The kid did it in college. It wasn't LSU, was it?
Was it Florida State?
It was Florida. So it was one game. He came and he did the gun thing. He did it twice. He did it during the game, then he did it on the sideline, and they made a real big thing. So I don't know what the hell he was thinking doing that. I understand excitement in the game at that time, but I don't know.
That seems to be like the trendy touchdown celebration right now, but you're starting to see it get called.
If we're going to talk about touchdown celebrations, can we talk about the Seahawks game really quick?
Let's do
it. Was it DK Metcalf who did the
terrible when he stood George Washington?
The George Washington crossing. Yeah. Oh my! That's such a dad joke of a.
If you have to explain it, it's not a good celebration.
It's so funny. Shit was hilarious though.
He got to stick to his sign language. I'm doing my sign language.
His sign language was good. That one was that was weird. That was confusing.
I was waiting for what he was going to say because I'm in sign language now, and I was like, "What is he going to give me?" And I was like, I don't know what this sign means. I was like, I don't know what this means. I'm like, hell.
Seahawks beat the Patriots 23-20 in overtime. Seattle blocked a field goal, which helped force overtime.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf went crazy, 10 catches, 129 yards, and a touchdown. Jason Myers for Seattle, 3 for 3 on his field goals, including the game-tying and game-winning field goal. And Seahawks out to a 2-0 start. Amanda, how are you feeling about Seattle? I mean, 2-0, and the Rams are injury hit. Maybe the Cardinals are better than we thought. The Niners might be catchable. I don't know. We'll see. But I'd like to see Seattle get back to the playoffs.
So the defense that showed up in OT for Seattle is the defense that needs to be there all 4 quarters. I would love, because there was that one year when the 49ers and Seattle made it into the playoffs and Arizona missed the playoffs with 12 wins. And I always felt so bad for Arizona because how are you going to put up 12 wins, be 12-4 and miss the playoffs just because your division is that good? I would love to see that happen in this division again because that division is stacked talent-wise. If Arizona can keep producing like they did this week, Seattle can pull their defense together. And, you know, they talk a lot about how they're the Legion of Boom 2.0. I'm not seeing it yet. So I need to see more of that. But I don't know.
John, what do you think? Why is New England being so competitive in these games? They won the first week. They go to overtime in this one. You got Jacoby Brissett. You traded away Judon. Belichick's gone. Why are the Patriots so competitive, you think?
Simply because they have a new head coach and it's a new regime. Whenever you have a new regime, the head coach tends to be the guy that you want to play for and want to win for. You want to get a new contract. You want everybody in the office to know who you are. You want everyone to be under his regime. If you have a head coach that can win and play well and the players can play under him, everybody's going to get them new contracts because they still going to want those same guys under that guy. I remember when Herm Edwards was there and I ended up getting traded from the Jets. It was simply because I was the guy that was there before he got there. So, they went and got Brian Thomas. They went and got other guys that they drafted and stuff like that. And I could tell I was not a fixture in his play band. So when you have a head coach that's new and you have players that want to continue to be there, you want to show that coach. Like, we're not worrying about Belichick no more. We're not worrying about the guys from the past. We're not even worrying about the owner. We're worrying about trying to put whoever GM this is now, I want this GM to know that I am good enough to be on this team for years. Because, at this point, they make the decisions on who's there. They don't make the decision on how good you are.
Yeah.
Damn, I hit that good. I hit that good. I got to write
That
that
was
shit
fire.
down.
That
That
was
was a good one.
fire.
I answered the hell out of that question. God damn it now.
We'll
I
crop a
love
little
this is-
snippet of that for you so you can share that on
Yeah,
TikTok.
we'll edit that one out.
I felt like a commentator, man. I'm telling you.
No, something that I love, and I'm so tired of the national media and the NFL. All they talk about is, oh, the next young offensive play caller that deserves a head coaching opportunity. I'm so tired of that crap. Look at these rookie defensive coaches that are balling out. Antonio Pierce with the Raiders, D'Amico Ryans with the Texans, Gerard Mayo now in New England. You got Raheem Morris over in Atlanta being successful. I'm loving this. Defensive guys can coach too, and I'm tired of let's hire Kellen Moore, let's hire Dave Canellis, let's hire Brian Johnson. Like a lot of the time those guys don't work out. So I like the defensive guys having success.
True. I'm with you on that.
That's what grinds my gears. All right.
Grinds my gears.
Sam Darnold sticks it to his old team.
Is CMC that important to San Francisco?
Apparently.
I mean, Jordan Mason has gone for 100 both games.
Went for another 100, yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was last year we were saying CMC is like the heart and soul of that team. Like,
I think he is. I think he's more than
Debo had 110. Debo had good. Debo played well also. But it's like I guess that's the biggest difference when you see a player that you really need. Like, because I'm looking and I'm like, if you see the numbers, it's not like terrible. But like you said, the heart and soul can change the dynamics of that. Even with the win last week, I guess.
And that sucks. Debo's out. Debo expected to miss multiple weeks now, on top of Christian McCaffrey on IR. Yeah. So
who do they play next?
Niners play. 1 second, I gotta look that up here.
Ayuk better make his money now, then, right? Ayuk got to make his money. They want to get paid. You got Debo and CMC gone. Like, it's time for you to show that you're that guy.
Next man up.
Yeah, he shouldn't even been the next man up for what they're paying him. And how important he said he was.
Wide receiver one,
like it shouldn't even be an option. Like, Debo having 110 is cool, and CMC doing his thing, but you're that guy, and you're not worrying about just getting paid. You want to be that guy. This is the opportunity to
prove it.
We need you. Yeah, the first game he only had like 2 catches or something like that. It was something ridiculous though. It was not even like point. Like, you just got 100 million. Like, come on, bro. We need you.
Yeah, at Rams. The Rams are injury hit as well.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's just going to be like a hospital ward playing over there.
Niners should be able to win that one. But 2-0 Vikings against the 2-0 Texans in week 3. That should be a good game.
I'm excited for that.
John, Giants, Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Have you seen much of Jaden Daniels? Are you liking him, the rookie quarterback for Washington?
I think he has a lot of hype on him right now. He's playing well. I mean, I'm only seeing him as a rookie, so I don't see him as a vet quarterback yet. So I'm seeing him as a rookie, and the excitement is still there. They're still we're still getting exposed to what kind of player he really is. We didn't really we seen him in college play very well. win awards and all that stuff, but now you want to see him as a player, and as a player, he seems to be developing. So I don't really know how, because I play defense. So you asked about defense, like watching a quarterback, I don't know the specifics of what they can say that, oh, he's going to be a great guy, he's going to be this, because all of them look the same to me sometimes. Like you look just like Lamar Jackson to me when we first start playing, but are you going to separate yourself and continue to be in that kind of mode? I mean, him and Anthony are pretty much the same. Anthony Richardson, they're like the same category to me right now,
Yeah.
until you see the difference of the winning and losing of the team. He's definitely nowhere close to the guy from Houston, but he's showing us that. So like I said, it's so early in his career, I can't really judge him like that. Some people will sit here and say, oh yes, well, we can see the upside, we can see the downside. Me right now is just like a guy playing football and enjoying his career.
Was it hard defending those ultra athletic quarterbacks? Like you had to defend Michael Vick. Was that harder for you, or how was that?
It was fun for me because I always thought I was a fast guy. So defending faster quarterbacks wanted to make me see if I still had it at an older age and things like that. It's definitely different for the players that you're playing or with, though. You have to understand that you have to keep those guys in the pocket, even though they run a lot of nakeds now. And they run a lot of there are more quarterbacks now that are more versatile. So being a good defensive end, or being a good tackle, or being in good rush lanes are very important. For me, it was more of like just wanting to be the best at anyone. Having people like Drew Brees that was actually very mobile, even though he didn't seem like he was. I mean, he was a guy that got the ball out so quick. Even with Tom Brady, even with Peyton Manning, those guys, they knew. Aaron Rodgers, those guys got the ball out so quick. I know Aaron had a special way of calling this. Aaron and actually Brett Favre. They would. I don't know if Aaron still does it now, but they would literally hike the ball. Like they'll literally have a cadence. They'll be like down, set, hut, 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 and they'll be backing up, and the ball will already be snapped, and they will still be saying that they'll still be saying their call. And I'm like, that's amazing, because it took me like a long time to catch it, because I knew I was getting off the ball late as hell, and I couldn't figure why. Because he was like down, set, hut, 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 hut. He already have the ball, but they'll still have their cadence going, which was one of the most magnificent things I've ever seen as a football player in my life, especially when I was young. Because the first time I saw it was Brett Favre, then I saw it with Aaron Rodgers later on in my career. So it's a lot of stuff.
Between that and the hard count, Aaron Rodgers just liked to mess with people's heads.
Yeah. But it wasn't even a hard count; it was a consistent count. Like imagine if we say like on go, you have to, like if you're running a race and they're gonna say 1, 2, 3, go, but it's like 1, 2, 3, go, 5, 6, 7. So you still like
but they're already going and you haven't realized yet because they're still counting. Aaron Rodgers, he's got some little mind tricks. It was more fun having him as a Packer, because now he's gone. So I have mixed feelings about Rodgers now, because I can't root for him because it's the Jets. Like I don't.
You can't root for him until he retires.
Like I'll welcome him back with open arms then, but like I just have no reason to root for the Jets. Like Allen Lazard and Rodgers are not enough for me to root for.
No question.
What about when Devontae goes there? Will that be enough?
No. It's the Jets, man. That's like I'm just so apathetic about that team. Like the Bills, I can root for. I love the Bills. Bills fans are crazy. They're endearing.
I hate the Bills. Like I generally, and I love their colors now. The color of the team is awesome. I love Von Miller. See, I'm a Von Miller fan, but I cannot cheer for the Bills at all. I'm okay with Miami, but the Bills is just like, ew.
I'm an NFC North fan. I like the Bills. We don't interact much. They don't bug me. You just mentioned Von Miller on our last episode. I forget Von Miller exists every week. Like I don't know why. Like my brain, I guess I think he's retired. But every time I see him on the field, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he still plays.
Yeah, he's still playing.
My husband's a Broncos fan. I know who Von Miller is. Like, for some reason, I just think he's retired. I don't. And then I see him on the field, I'm like, oh shit, every single week. It's so weird.
I do agree, because he does like he just fades away, then he pops up and get like 3 sacks. I'm like, oh, Von still plays.
Yeah, him and Jalen Ramsey too. Like they'll do nothing for 3 games and then like have oh no, I'm still here game. I'm like, oh, okay.
They're still here. Yeah.
That's me with the Dolphins. I can't root for the Dolphins. Like they're
I thought
like
you meant forgetting they exist. You're like, I just forget the Dolphins are a team.
No,
I really do.
Dolphins are an arena team. They're just speed. They're not built for
Yeah.
December and January, But I do
But
like Achan.
that
Devon
game
Achan
against
is
the
awesome.
Broncos last year, that 70 point, like nobody thought
That
that was
made me hate
real.
him more. That made me hate him more. It's like you put up
Yeah.
70 in an NFL game, like get
But
out
that
of
didn't
here.
give me any confidence in them. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a fun game for them. Cool.
yeah.
Don't care. Okay, who do
um,
we have left?
let's go Ravens, Raiders.
Oof.
The Raiders stun the Ravens 26-23. Devontae Adams had a nice game, 9 catches for 110 and a touchdown. Brock Bowers, 9 catches for 98 yards. It was really cool to see Max Crosby. He records 2 sacks, 4 TFLs, and Minshew threw a pick, and Max Crosby came
Yeah.
directly to him and was encouraging him and saying, "Keep doing your thing."
Yeah,
I
he came
like to
over. He's
see
like, dude, we got your
that.
back. We got this. We're good.
Yeah,
That was so cute, I guess. Heartwarming. I don't Max Crosby is not cute, but like that is a ferocious man. Like I don't but like the situation it was adorable. Like I can tell that the camaraderie between Antonio Pierce and the team wanting him as their coach and the whole situation, like they've taken Minshew under their wing and it's cute.
yeah,
Hey, Al, one thing I gotta say, Al,
yeah.
or maybe Amanda, whoever wrote this bullshit, stop saying at the beginning of the year we can't say stun. That's one thing I hate to see. Like,
That's all me right
That was
there.
no,
Alex. Ain't nobody stunned by
yeah,
this shit. It's
like
week 2.
I was stunned.
Oakland
I was stunned.
stun. I was like, bro, like it's fucking the second week. Sorry for cursing, but I'm like, it's no stun. Like it's like, okay, you got two teams, and there are two. Like if you look at the two teams, just because Baltimore has the star power doesn't
Yeah.
mean they're better. This doesn't mean they're a better team when Oakland has the better defense. And Minshew is actually a quarterback has proven that he can play in this league. 30 for 38. He made one mistake, but if you look at the whole game, he played exceptionally well, and mentally he was in the game. Like 30 for 38 is crazy to me because that's some good football, regardless of who you are. Whether it's I don't care if it's a 5 yard route, I don't care if it's a 10 yard route. 30 for 38 is a great game. I think Oakland definitely is taking like what I was saying about actually about like Mayo and the younger having the younger coaches in or the beginner coaches.
Yeah.
You can make your presidents for want for you to be there longer. So that's what Oakland is now too. Crosby is just going to be a guy. Like T.J. Watt, Hutchinson, Crosby. All those guys are bunched in together, not just because they're white guys, but they actually can rush the passer. They're pretty good at what they do, and they know how to kick. And I think Oakland is taking that. They don't have
I
a
mean
they don't have
Vegas.
the yeah
Vegas.
yeah it's still
I
Oakland to me.
stopped
I'm
myself from
sorry.
doing that earlier. They will
Yeah.
yeah,
Vegas
that one's the
Vegas
hard one.
well, Vegas has that Oakland mentality now. If
Yeah.
that sounds good, I
Especially
would
with
put it like
Antonio
that.
Pierce there. Like he's
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Because Antonio Pierce even said he's like I played. I used to watch. I used to watch like Los Angeles Raiders. Then I watched the Oakland Raiders, and now being the head coach, if you look at the old Raiders, it looks almost like the old Raiders how they play. Like even Crosby with the tattoos and stuff, he looked like just an old Raider.
Yeah.
But the old Raiders used to have like big pads on, cuts on their arms, and all kind of crazy stuff. So it gives you that illusion of you're playing with the old Raiders. So I think this squad definitely can play with any team. So if you say stunned again in a little press thing, I'm kicking your butt. 'Cause I'm like, oh, the
And
game was
nothing's
stunned
done until after week 8. That's
after
my
after week 8. We got 9-0 and they do it, but at the beginning of the
yeah.
season, no, it's nothing compared to.
That that was stunning to me. All right,
Yeah.
Alex is easily
Minshew
impressed.
Minshew is like a good backup. Lamar is the reigning MVP. He got Roquan Smith over there. He got Derrick Henry on the Ravens. This game shouldn't have been close, let alone a Raiders win. But
They trying
credit
to
to
figure out their
Minshew.
team. They still trying to figure out
Yeah,
their team with that new running back. They want to get Derrick Henry more carries. They want to and Derrick Henry has been consistent what Derrick Henry does. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't put up 200 yards or anything crazy like that, but he got his yardage. But
yeah.
also you have Lamar that you want to get him started too. So once they get a balance, just like I'm saying with like the Falcons did last week and how they played this week, the balance was so much better.
This matchup between the Raiders and Ravens, like they were evenly matched. Like time of possession was 30 seconds different, first downs the same, third down efficiency the same. Total yards, the Raven had 123 more yards on offense. That's something that jumps out. But the only other thing that really like sways one way or the other, 3 penalties for the Raiders, 11 for 109 yards against the Ravens.
Yeah,
Gotta get
That's
the
there.
gonna
Ravens
bite you in
are
the ass.
the most penalized team in the NFL at this point.
And
The
in
2
this
weeks.
game, I don't feel like sometimes you're watching a game, you're like, come on, stop throwing flags at that team. They deserved at least 9 of those penalties. Like it was blatant stuff. Like there were some I was like, ah, we didn't really need to call that.
They
But
deserve that.
they're like, no, they had that shit coming.
Yeah, no, y'all.
Like my man
Yeah.
over here throwing punches on the sidelines. Like, no, you deserve a penalty here, boo boo.
No question.
Is 0-3 time to start being worried? We got the Ravens at the Cowboys in week 3. I mean, if they don't go into Dallas and get a big win, we could be looking at 0-3 for the Ravens. So they need to start cleaning stuff up in a hurry. That's the thing about the NFL. You start slow, 0-2, 0-3, you can get yourself in trouble pretty quickly. So
That's a stunning game for anybody, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Who's
but
gonna
it's
be more?
Dallas. I haven't
Who's
seen
gonna be?
anything
Who's
promising
gonna
out of
be?
Dallas.
Who's gonna be stunned? Like, John, Dallas stunned Baltimore.
My thing is, I do not see the Ravens making adjustments during games. We saw this in the postseason last year, the same issue. Like, oh, that didn't work. Let's just do it again. Like, no, change it.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
they lost Mike McDonald, their DC, went to the Seahawks. Anthony Weaver, the assistant head coach, D-line coach, went to the Dolphins. So they lost, not only players, but defensive coaches. They lost 3 offensive line starters. The Ravens a bit of an adjustment here. Rams, Cardinals. This game was shocking to me. Amanda, you picked the Cardinals, right?
yeah.
I did not. I mean, I know the Rams are hurt, but 41-10, the Cardinals kicked their ass, and Marvin Harrison Jr. went crazy in the first quarter. What do you have? 4 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That was the whole game, though. When the first quarter just pretty much ended it for him. Like the whole rest of the game was boring to watch because it was just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it just didn't
so
look like they had.
one-sided.
I didn't see any fight. I didn't see any fight, and I'm not trying to knock. I don't know what exactly going on, but you can kind of tell that game was over at the beginning.
Let's go Steelers, Broncos. Russell Wilson's been hurt. Justin Fields is filling in nicely. He's got the Steelers to 2-0. John, would you consider bringing back Russell Wilson when he's healthy?
No, not at all. I'm saying boring. First of all, boring ass football. Last week was boring. I sat there and watched the Pittsburgh game, and Atlanta just played bad. Atlanta should have destroyed that. If Atlanta played like they played this week in Philly, they would have destroyed Pittsburgh. This week, watching this game was extremely boring, but also it's the win, so it's hard to talk trash. But also, if I would keep him in until he shows me the reason, if Fields shows me a reason that he can't continue to win, it's kind of hard to take him out because Russell has if Russell had when he played for Broncos, if they finished like 15-2, and then they're like, well, we need him to come to win. But right now, if you look at their team, all they really have is Pickens. And I'm not trying to knock any of their other players. Their running game is Najee. He might get you 60 yards rushing, but I'm like, he's not a home run hitter that I thought he was going to be from college. You see him, you're like, okay. And you see him run hard. You see him, but he'll have 20 carries and you see like 60 yards. You're kind of like, what did he do? I thought he was going to be one of those guys that, really put up huge numbers. And the Broncos
Jacobs or something, yeah.
Yeah, the Broncos are just boring to watch.
Dude, they're so boring.
Isn't that the Steelers' way, though? Isn't the Steelers' way kind of boring? It's just protect the
Steelers are boring, but I'm saying the Broncos and the Steelers were super boring. But the way that Pittsburgh is playing now, they're winning games, so it's hard. And we don't know if Russell might try to come and bring too much excitement. You know what I'm saying? Because Russell has something to prove. Fields wants to keep a job. Russell wants to prove that he deserves the job. He wants to prove that I'm Russell Williams 10 years ago. Old boy just want to keep a job, so he's willing to do the stuff that I'm willing to take the slide. I'm willing to take this rush here. I'm willing to throw the ball 10 to 15 times a game and still win. Russell
Yeah.
might try to come in and try to bring it. Okay, I want to throw the ball 20, 30 times. I want to force plays. I want to do this, this, and this. When you have a winning system right now, it's boring, but it's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that fits Mike Tomlin's approach better as well, the Justin Fields style. What do you think, Amanda? I mean, they're 2-0. It's boring, but it's getting the job done, and it's their defense is playing well, and Fields isn't turning the ball over.
I mean, is it really that, or are their opponents just having real bad weeks against them?
Well, I think
Like,
Atlanta's a good team. I think the Steelers
yeah,
kind of
I
do
don't
that to
think
teams
Atlanta had a
too.
great week last week, though. I think Atlanta's a
Yeah,
very
but
promising team, but they definitely played better this week than they did last week. And the Broncos had 300 yards of offense and put up 6 points. So, like, yeah, that's a lot of
well,
the Steelers' defense, but that's also just the Broncos fucking themselves at every given opportunity on the field.
but it's also a bit of fool's gold a little bit too, because the Steelers, I think that's the way they play is like bend but don't break.
Yeah,
And
kind of play down to the level.
yeah, like
Mhm.
they don't care. They don't want to. The Steelers don't want to put up 30 points on offense. They want to beat you 16 to 10.
They can't put up 30. They can't. That's
They
the
don't.
difference. You can't say they don't want. That's just a
They
bold
would
faced
love
lie.
to.
Yeah,
They don't
they
know
don't
how
need
to.
to.
They don't want
They
to put
don't
up
need
30
to.
points. Shut up.
They don't have that skill set. They can only be.
No, hey, let's be real here now. Let's not get out of hand. Like
They don't
they
need
don't want to
to.
put up 30. Now that's the biggest
That is a
lie I've heard
bold-faced
in my
lie.
life.
Like
Yeah.
they've won by 7 and 8 points. I feel like that's their sweet spot. Like we want to win by a
Hey,
touchdown and then no extra effort. We got some
let's see
elderly
how far
peeps
they
on our
can
team.
go with that, though. I mean, you're 2-0. If you can get to 3-0, if you can win the division,
Also, speaking of that division is upside down. Like you look
yeah,
at the standings in that division, like what the 3
I
weeks ago,
love
if you
it.
had asked me where we would be, like I am 100% out of order. Nope. That's not what I
Uh,
expected.
let's do Bengals Chiefs. This was a great game. The Bengals looked like absolute shit in week 1, but they always step up against the Chiefs and play well. If Joe Burrow could just not fumble and get a return for a touchdown, since he wins that game, plus if the refs were unbiased and not wearing Chiefs uniforms, this might have had a different ending as well. John, do you see it too? Do you see the refs like just being straight up Chiefs fans on a weekly basis, or is it just luck?
I definitely think it comes with the territory. When you win championships, because trust me, when we played New England when I was with the Jets, we knew there
Yeah.
were certain things you could not do to Tom Brady. I mean, it was automatically like after it's just automatic. Like it's some players, Peyton Manning, it's some players that nothing can happen to this person or their team because we will lose so much money. And as a
Yeah.
referee, I'm not losing my job for saying I'm the guy who didn't call that guy
Yeah.
getting hurt. And I mean, you go all the way back to back in the day, when you hurt a quarterback and you're the guy who, like I always say, don't be the guy who, like I think with Tom Brady, with Drew Brees and a lot of guys, the reason why their old lines were so good, they did not want to be the guy that hurt that guy in his career. Because then they'll talk about you for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Because think about how Aaron got hurt last year, and they swear it was the person who was blocking the guy, but it was the Achilles. Like hell, it probably would have happened anyway. But man, if he would have made that block, man, I'm telling you, it was his fault. I was like, God dang it! So even when you go all the way back to Joe Theismann, hey, somebody missed that block on LT, ended that man's career. So you do not want to have that on your. You want to be plagued for the rest of your life. Like, oh wow, you know what I mean? I'm the highlight.
Well, I do think the 3 turnovers on the Chiefs, like it's impressive that they won this game.
Yeah.
Like they only had 137 yards of passing, which is, I mean, was Travis Kelce in this game? Like,
yeah, he's been non-existent.
no. And he's going to be fucking annoying and have just a crap season where he fades into the woodwork and then put up 300 yards in a postseason game just to remind everybody why he's here. Because that's the Travis Kelce way.
Swift every catch.
Super facts.
Cam Taylor-Britt with an amazing interception in this game, that one-handed.
That was
awesome.
That was nice.
But the Chiefs are getting better. Like in the past, if they had 3 turnovers, they're definitely losing. They're getting better all around. It sucks Isaiah Pacheco is out 6 to 8 weeks, so that's a big loss.
I just realized Travis Kelce had exactly 1 reception and exactly 1 yard in this game. So he wasn't technically non-existent. He did get 1 whole yard. So,
but how much do y'all think? And this just this is football, but it's also life. How do you think is it seems like he's very frustrated. Chase. He looks very frustrated out there because you seen him fighting with the quarterback, and even he cut his hair, like he got a low cut now. It's like he's trying to do everything to be, I want to be the clean cut guy. I want to do what I got to do to get my contract. He got
Yeah.
insurance on himself for $50 million. Like, you think that's really messing up the way he's playing? Like, I mean, like, honestly, I'm just asking y'all. Like, I know as a player, but I'm like, you think that's going to slow him down as a player this year?
Yeah, I mean it could. It's a
He's
it's a
taking it
slow
personal.
start for sure. Yeah, and that's definitely I think in the back of his mind the contract stuff. Um, and then he was going up against a good corner in McDuffie, so that could be part of it. But yeah, there's definitely the human element to it that's always we don't as fans you don't take that into consideration much, but it's definitely real.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I see him
Amanda? I mean,
frustrated. It just seems like he's very frustrated. 'Cause every time I see him come back to the huddle and I see him talking to even the Joe, it's like, bro, you might like we're brothers, but we LSU guys. But I'm like, dude, I don't think you went to bat for me because a lot of times it's stuff that you don't see outside of the football. Because
yeah,
I've been around with Chad Pennington, and they was kind of like iffy about paying Lavernius Cole. Chad went into the office and like, look, I need him. You see
yeah,
people like Matt Ryan, like Matt when it came to keeping Roddy White, when it came to keeping Julio, Matt was a big part of that, and not saying he didn't speak up for Chase, but he might, mentally like, dude, like you supposed to been the guy that come to bat for me. Like you got yours, you should have been like, look, I
yeah,
need this guy. So I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just presuming that I know for me because when I had to play on my franchise tag, I was so fearful of getting hurt and my market value dropping. But I wanted to play my ass off, but I had to be smart and I had to be. It's like you have to be smart, but you have to be stupid too because you still got to go out here and play
You
your
gotta
ass
look
off.
good, but not injure
yeah,
yourself. Not in like
Exactly. You
don't go
want
for
to,
the big plays and then have a big drop instead.
yes,
Like it's a very
you want to
walk on
have
the tightrope.
200. You want to make them pay you, but also you don't want to extend yourself too much. You don't want to put too much effort and then hurt yourself. It's a tough job because people tell you not to think about it,
Like,
and
oh, okay.
you're not in that position to not think about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's
yeah,
frustrated too because I know he's really competitive and like losing, I mean, 0-2 by one score each, like that sucks.
Yeah.
They've lost by a total of 7 points this season. He's got 100 yards total on the season.
Thank you.
yeah,
So you get what I'm
Exactly.
saying now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. Like that's small things that we don't really pay attention. Like, oh, he's not playing well, or he's not doing this.
Yeah.
No, it's just like it's frustrating. I'm out here working my ass off. Da da da.
And they're not appreciating me, so
Yeah, it's hard to come to work that way. People don't understand. It is really hard to come to work. Like even if you feeling like they do care about you, they do want the best for you, but they're not showing you financially, and you know the reason why. And sometimes you don't because like I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
yeah,
All I've done is
yeah,
led the league like the last few years. All I've done has been, played hurt, which people don't see. And now I'm not, it is
yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely could be something going on, and going to the next game, I'm seeing that we're seeing that from my Bears with DJ Moore was very body language and frustrated
But
with
DJ got paid though,
Caleb
right?
Williams. Yeah, he got paid, but like he wants to win, and there's all this
Got you.
expectations with Caleb, and there was a ball that like easily could have been made. There was 5 yards that back shoulder that easily could have been completed, and Caleb just missed it. And DJ body language was like laid on the ground there for a second, visibly frustrated. You could see it when he was sitting down on the bench, just like staring.
yeah.
And Chicago media has been talking about it this week, and they're giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's never had any of these instances before. And I think you know human nature when the offense when nothing's going your way, it's going to weigh on you. Especially when you're supposed to be a star player, putting up
Yeah.
10 catches, 100 yards like Jamar Chase. It's only natural, and so Amanda, we see this all the time
Yeah.
with number one receivers that don't get enough targets and get unhappy.
Well,
Stephon Diggs, you know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it happens a lot. And I just want to give a quick shout out to the media personnel for this week because they showed Caleb Williams when that scene you were just talking about, with his head up, and then flashback to Justin Fields in the exact same position, the same orange uniform with the same expression, the same like
Both of the orange jerseys.
yeah, they earned, and I love those orange jerseys. I said that to Alex. I said that before the game, like those orange jerseys with the orange, like the whole orange look. That's sleek, but it appears to be bad luck for the Bears. So I don't know if they should keep wearing those.
I could leave the orange jerseys at home. I like the old school
Oh, I like the two tone.
2011 Devin Hester jersey. I like
That's
that.
the one I used to have.
John, let's talk about your Falcons Eagles Monday night. Last night's game, a great game.
I
You
love
were
Kirk
thinking.
Cousins. I was just rooting for chaos in this game. I picked the Eagles. At one point, like Alex and I were messaging during this game, and I was like, at this point, I want a safety, I want a tie, I just want absolute chaos. Like, I don't even care that I picked wrong.
Kirk was clutch. John, you're getting the new Kirk Cousins experience there in Atlanta. You got to be happy with his ability to come through with that game-winning drive.
One thing I can say about being a new Falcons fan, I ain't gonna lie, I had my, after I got fired from them, I tried to hate them for a little longer. So I was like, I hate y'all fired me. Go to
It's
hell.
business,
Go to
yeah.
hell. But
Yeah.
the last few years I've been building my character
Yeah.
back. I've been going to games. I've been doing a little media and stuff like that. And one thing I can say, media is hard as hell. So Amanda, you're dead on it. Like doing that, it is like to be able to capable to have all that stuff and everything just to come.
And to remember everything and look it up while stuff is
Yes.
happening. Yeah, they're
I have so much more respect for what y'all do, and that's why I come on y'all show and try to help y'all as much as I can with my little 2 cents. But I said it last Friday. I was talking to my friend Maria Martin. She works for 11 Alive in Atlanta. So me and her would do a segment, and I told her, I said, if this team is going to win, they gotta let Bijan be a running back. Like stop doing all this cute stuff. Put Bijan at running back. Let him run the ball, and then work from that.
Don't use him as a blocker. Like you're gonna get him injured. Let him do what he's good at.
I don't even mind him blocking, but let him block as a running back and not as a receiver. Like the games before, they try to run him at receiver. They got him motioning. They got him doing all this stuff, trying to trick defenses, and they still not getting the ball to Pitts. They still not getting the ball to Drake. So what's the point of doing all this? Line him up, run the stretch play, and they run the outside stretch prior to perfection this whole game. And if y'all watched the game, you would have seen like him and Algiers it was a controlled offense. They still did the pistol, but you couldn't tell because he went under center. The first drive was amazing to me. The 2 minute from last week was the best part of the game. So the 2 minute at the end of the game, I was confident they could score. Me and Maria was talking. Maria was at the game. I was texting her. I was like, "Look, this 2 minutes is there a good thing right now? So this should look good." And they did a great job moving. And you see the 2 minute, and it kind of messes your head up because you think why they can't do this the whole game.
Exactly.
But it is different when 2 minute comes. There's different defenses, and especially when they're trying to prevent a touchdown compared to I guess get a sack or just stop a run play. You're trying to prevent a touchdown, so sometimes you're too far back. You're not pressing the quarterback like you need to. So it's a lot different than people think. People's like, it's 2 minutes. Like, why y'all can't get a sack? Because it's hard as hell. Like, it's hard as hell trying to get a sack in 2 minutes. It sounds easy, but like I said, the defense is playing more prevent than they are playing like aggressive like they were, because you don't want to get beat deep trying to play one of these great receivers one-on-one, So you're trying to slow play it, you're trying to run the clock, you're trying to do all this, and they had no timeouts too. But I think the way they played, the defense played well. But if you watch like I watch the O-lines on both teams. The O-lines and I'm talking even about the Falcons. The Philly defense had the Falcons D-line about 2-3 yards back every time.
Yeah.
So by the time you seen Saquon get the ball, he was already walking probably 2-3 yards. He had 2-3 yards already. Same thing with Bijan. When they were running the stretch play, if you sat there and watched, you just seen so many lanes coming in. You seen so many lanes just from and that's what they're good at. So when they just pretty much say, look, Bijan, you're gonna be this. Okay, Pitts, you know what we're gonna let you do this game? We're gonna let you be a tight end. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, Drake, Drake, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna be a receiver. Yeah, we ain't
Sure, man.
no tricks. No frill, no tricks, no tricks.
Yeah.
Like you don't care about Bijan coming and being the X. Hey, you're gonna be the X today. Mooney. Hey, Mooney, you're gonna be the X today. Yay. Hey, no, I'm serious. So I saw all that. Ray. Guess what, Ray? You're gonna be a receiver. You might let you return a little bit. All the stuff I said, just keep it to the basic and get that power. Then you start being trick plays. If you look at New England back in the day, New England, they didn't really try to trick people. They ran the ball, they passed the ball.
Yeah, you knew what they were going to do, and it still worked.
You knew what they were going to do, and it still worked. And I think that is the key that made this game really good for me. Because if you watch the game, and I said this the same thing last week, if you watched the game last week with the Falcons, I was like, they just don't look coordinated. Like it's like everybody. Too. Yeah, it's like everybody, because like Kirk, like he's getting the ball, and it's kind of like, okay, am I going here? Am I going here? You know, it's like you know when you first do something, you try to be perfect at it. But let's say if you've done it so much, it becomes a sense that you should do it. Like because I like you just don't want to mess it up, so you're doing stuff not to mess it up. But once you start, like I said what they need to do is, and I think Zach Robinson became a better coordinator this week because I think he literally went to I think he literally went to Kirk, and he was like, Kirk, what are the plays that you like? He went to Bijan. Bijan, what are the plays you like? I mean, I understand you want to do this, but Bijan probably like, look, I want 100 yards rushing. Okay, good. Let's implement this. Let's get Bijan what he likes to do. Let's get Kirk what he likes, because Kirk looks so comfortable.
Something I want to say about that Atlanta Falcons matchup is like looking at the numbers. I said it during the game to Alex, these teams were so evenly matched, like first downs, receiving, everything looked great. Obviously, Kirk rushed for 2 feet and, Hurts was rushing all over the place. But what really, really stood out to me in this matchup is if you look at the time of possession between the two, the Eagles had the ball 11 minutes more than the Falcons. And with where they were at, if you go back to the first quarter, the end of that first quarter, making the call to be, Nick Campbell over here and go for it on 4th down on Atlanta's 9, you lose the game by 1 point after going for it on 4th down and skipping a field goal. You're like, we saw this so many times last year. The Lions lost 3 games by less than a field goal.
That was a great call, man. But you know what I feel also about this game? I feel like both of the teams were trying to play safe because both quarterbacks had 3 turnovers last week. The biggest thing for the Falcons, and this is going to have to be something they're going to have to get better at, even though the first downs were pretty good. I mean, like you said, everything was even. They were 1 of 7 for 3rd down before like the 2 minute. And
I said that too.
Yeah. So you got to see, like last week there were 2 of 11.
Yeah, they finished 2 of 9.
Yeah. So the same thing has got to be. I don't know exactly what. If you can get a first down on 2nd down, hey, it is what it is. That's how you're going to play ball. Cause like I've seen how many first down they had, and it kind of helped me. But then you see the 3rd down, it's like, dude, but like y'all are terrible on 3rd down.
Yeah. Atlanta was lucky to pull this one off with the 3rd down efficiency.
I wouldn't say look. I would say that Philly.
They made up for it in other places, but I'm just saying with that level of 3rd down efficiency, like.
Oh, no doubt.
That's a key ingredient to winning a game.
But what you said, what you said really implements the dumbness of what Philly was doing. I think Philly was too confident. Philly was too confident. Philly was too confident they could beat this team without AJ. They was too confident that we can score 30 points however we want to. We have Saquon. We have.
Yeah, we don't need
we don't need 3 points. We don't need 3 points. We don't need 3 points to win this game because we're going to win by so much. Like what you said hit it dead on the head. When I saw them pass over that 3 points, I was like, damn. I even told Maria, I texted her, I was like, they don't respect them. I said, because this is a different team. If they were playing someone they respected, they would have took that 3 points, but they knew they might be with this kind of game. But going for it on 4th down here when they don't care, doing this, and I'm looking like they really feel like they're just that much better than them because that didn't make any sense, and I'm glad you hit it on the head, man. Because I was thinking
that Atlanta took that personally. Like that's such a slap in the face.
I would too. It really was. So they went for it on 4th down. They did we knew we can do this on you. They did things that and as a player, I know how it feels. If it's third down, if it's fourth down or something, and they decide to go for it, they don't respect you. They feel like they're just a better team, and they don't need to do this. And they feel like their defense is good enough that they can stop you from scoring. If they do, is okay, they're gonna have to go score here. So you hit it dead on the head. That was a good call. I thought about that a long time ago, and I forgot all about it, but you took it, so I give you credit.
Well, because I
No.
called Sirianni Nick Campbell, and Alex loves when I talk shit about
Yeah.
coaches.
Because Amanda knows how much I hate this crap, this analytics movement of like be super aggressive no matter what. And I don't think these computers and these analytic numbers take into effect or consideration the momentum shift from that and what it does to the mentality of the other team too. It's disrespectful, it's arrogant. You're taking points. You go on like a 13 play drive, get all the way down to the 10 and come away with 0 points. Like that's so deflating. And
Well, I think you do it when you want to. Okay, the only way I can see it being rational if you're like in a shitty situation as a team, and you need to find courage, or you need to find something.
Yeah.
You're the kind of coach, but when you're a
Yeah, but
good
never
team
in the
like
first quarter.
exactly when you're a good team, when you're a good team like Philadelphia Eagles, it seemed like you play smart ball now. But I'm saying when I seen them do that, it was like okay, they don't respect this team. So whatever they saw on tape against Pittsburgh, in which they did have all right to feel that way. Because you watch the Pittsburgh take, I wouldn't respect this team either. The team didn't look coordinated. The team looked like they was a turnover team. They didn't look like they were effective on third down. They didn't look like they were effective on defense, except for Jesse Bates and Simmons, which play awesome. And I think people don't give them enough credit for. They're probably like the best duo in the league right now when it comes to safeties.
Yeah.
But so it's a respect thing. I've been on teams and I've been around coaches like, man, these guys can't do this. And I guarantee you, Philly was like, you know, if AJ's not playing, okay, that's fine. But our defense, and think about it, because I even said Caleb McGarry gave up sack after sack after sack. And like he only got credit for 2, but trust me, he gave about like 5 sacks. It was a terrible game. So in Philly, look at their D line, and they have all these like massive, great guys that can rush the passer. And so they feeling like we're just gonna kill these guys. And I really felt like their mentality was we don't respect these guys. They shouldn't be on the field with us. They're in our house. We're gonna do whatever we want to do. We're not going for 3 points this game. We're gonna go for 7. We're going for 7. We're going for 7, and then end up biting them in the ass. Because it's just like you said, they should have won this game, man. If they kicked that field goal, even if like you can say that Saquon made a mistake from dropping the ball, but also it should have never got it.
That was a big drop.
Yeah,
but
it should have never got it to that opportunity. It should have never got that opportunity that you had to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, the offense taking 10 minutes on a touchdown drive, the one that ended in the tush push, that was over a 10-minute offensive drive. That offense was getting worn out at that point. And I mean, shout out to them for putting up that much of a fight on defense, because a 10-minute drive is ridiculous. Like y'all should be more efficient than that.
And you think about it, you said that the Eagles had 11 minutes more, so it was really only on that drive.
Yeah, it was that one
so
touchdown.
It was pretty much balanced, but it was pretty much just that drive. And I was telling them like I said I actually was wrong on this thing. I said whoever have the time of possession is going to win this game. And but it ended up being just that one play. But if you take that 10 minutes out of that one drive, it was pretty much an even game all the way down. Like no turnovers except for Jesse at the end, so it ended up being the turnovers were the person that win, but the game was pretty much a balanced game, and it seemed like the Eagles, they played very safe this game. They didn't really try a lot of stuff because they didn't have AJ, and it seemed like you can really tell that they were playing like. But I just saw too much arrogance in the way they played.
Yeah, that to me it comes from the coaching staff. It wasn't the players that were all arrogant. It was the coaching staff. And to me, that's flawed. It's like, why are you arrogant? Look at the way the season ended last year for Philly. You know, losing to Tampa in the first round of the playoffs and collapsing at the end of the year. Who do the Eagles think they are to come into this season and be arrogant and take anybody lightly? And so they deserve to lose that game. And credit to the Falcons for taking advantage of it. I like the Eagles. I like the way they're built. I think they're contenders in the NFC. But this game just goes to show if you take anybody lightly, if you're arrogant going in and think that you got it, there's a good chance you might blow that game. And so I'm glad Atlanta beat them and humbled them a little bit. And that was a fun game to watch.
I'm
Um,
excited, like as we wrap this up, I'm excited for both of their next matchups. Because we've
yeah,
got Atlanta at home with Kansas City coming to town. And
Yeah,
then
yep,
I'll be there.
oh, will you? Nice. You gotta send
that's
us
Yeah.
gonna be a
some
great
sideline
game.
video.
I'll give
We'll post
No,
it.
Atlanta
no,
a shot.
like honest, like I said, I'm working with Atlanta. Well,
Yeah.
I'm working with my friend Maria, so we going to the
So
game
you
and
and Maria going?
well, yeah, we're doing a live press afterwards.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Nice.
So it was my first time being in the press box and doing all that stuff. So I'm doing it this week also.
Nice.
So when I'm talking,
Nice.
I'm telling y'all real shit.
Ooh, behind
We
the
got to tune
scenes,
in
sneak
for that
previews. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, between that matchup and then,
Eagles
Eagles, New
at Saints.
Orleans,
Yeah,
that'll be
that's gonna
So
be
fun.
a
that's
great game.
well, are the Eagles in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the
that's,
Eagles go. I think. Well, I don't know if we're doing predictions yet, but I don't know. I think the
you can
Eagles
make
might.
it. I
I think.
Go
I think New
Saints. I'm
Orleans.
rooting for the Saints.
I think. I
Amanda's
think.
gonna pick the Eagles, but I'm gonna pick the Saints just so I can get a edge up on
I'm
her.
picking the Saints.
I'm picking the Eagles. I got it.
Maybe I'm picking the Eagles then. We'll see.
I just think that I don't know. I think the Saints are going to get. I think the Saints are playing well, but also I think they're playing too good. You ever seen teams playing
Yeah,
too good? And I think
yeah.
they're playing too good. And I think
I don't think they're gonna break until week 5, though.
I
Okay.
think I think this might be the break. I think because the defense hasn't been really tested yet because they beat people so bad, and people don't understand. Like when you beat people by 40, your defense don't get to see other plays that a lot of other teams like the Cowboys didn't have to show all their playbook. We getting beat this bad, like a lot of the plays you don't get to see. So Philly can come in and show them everything or show them a lot more, and then they ain't gonna score 40 the whole year. I don't care. That's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
like
I
you
think it's gonna
scoring
be a
40, you
lower
showing a
scoring
lot.
matchup for sure.
Yeah,
Say
that's
it
like the
again.
greatest show on turf, Rams, right there. If you're scoring 40 every game, and
Yeah, it's not.
all right, but this is our prediction. 2 days from now, Thursday night football, the 1-1 Patriots at the 1-1 Jets. Amanda, lead us off. Are you going New England here?
I could not care less about this game. I keep trying to get myself hyped for
You're a
it.
Jets fan. Stop denying it. You're a Jets fan, Amanda.
I mean, I can't. I was wrong about my New England pick. So, I can't root for New England. I have the hardest time doing it, but I don't know. I gotta talk myself into one or the other. I'm just so 50-50 on this one. I could talk myself either way. I don't know. I can't.
Jets
What's
by
that
5.
say?
Jets by
It's
5.
blurry as hell.
Jets by
Yeah, I
5?
know. Jets by
Okay.
5.
I want to pick the Jets, but then New England already surprised me, and Aaron Rodgers gets hits wrong and breaks both collarbones and his ACL. I don't know.
I'm
so
so
fragile.
confident for this one.
Who you
I
got?
believe
You're going
this
New
one's
England, aren't you?
strongly. No, Jets by double digits. This Jets are gonna run away with this one.
I hope
Aaron,
so.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna be vintage. Brees Hall, Braylon Allen. I'm a big Braylon Allen fan,
You are. You love him.
and that defense is nasty.
Yeah, well, I
So
hope
give me
so.
the
I
Jets.
haven't seen it be as good as I've expected so far.
Yeah, I know. They maybe playing against Jacoby Brissett. Maybe that'll wake him up a little bit.
I,
That's a big rivalry game.
The defense,
Huh?
the Jets are playing well. I think
Yeah.
with Brissett, okay. I think Johnson is going to play well next week because after McDonald come with that 3-sack game, and just being anybody on their D line can be, amazing. They just got
Yeah,
to
they're so
stand up and
loaded.
do that. Sauce is
Yeah.
playing great
they're
as
gonna alternate
usual.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's how it was last year. If you watched last year, their defensive line literally Williams would have a good, then it'll be
Yeah.
Huff, then it would, So yeah, I can see it happening this week, and I think this week, like I said, only thing Johnson, he's this close. Like he's really the best pass rusher they have, and it's
Yeah.
not even close. He just ain't putting the numbers up. He's getting to the quarterback, but he's not getting them down. So, and that's one of the biggest things. Pressures are cute in the book, but they don't get you paid.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah,
That's what's up. Well,
when I pick Aaron Rodgers, he does shit like make four plays into the game before he's out for the season. So Aaron
Ouch.
Rodgers and I have a
Ouch.
love-hate
are we
relationship. I was so confident in week 1 last year. I ran my mouth so much.
They did win though.
I know, but I'm just saying, I
You
was
were
talking about
right.
the Jets making it to the postseason. Like I
Oh
was,
no, you can't make that bet.
listen,
The Jets this year? I got the Jets
Oh,
in the Super Bowl this year. That's what I'm
I
saying.
know Alex has the Jets in the Super Bowl, so he's the one doing it this year. So
Jets in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl this year?
that's what he said.
Broadway Aaron.
Son of a bitch.
Aaron's gonna get it done. Jets
I think that
Niners.
man has one more MVP caliber season in his mind. I don't know if his
Yeah.
body can do it, but I think mentally he's like, no, I gotta put up those numbers one more time because he can't
Yeah,
go down
Aaron?
after last season. Like Aaron
Aaron?
wants to be at that level again.
I think this is definitely his last year.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I, I can't see him playing after this year. If they have a amazing year, I see him retiring. If they have a terrible year, I see him retiring. If they have a mediocre year, I see him
Mhm.
maybe coming back. If they're 8-9, 9-8, I can see him coming back. If they're 15-2, I can see him retiring. But if they're 5-12, I see him retiring. But if it's anything, he's not an average guy. He either got to go
No,
out with he got to go
can't
out
do that
like
shit.
this, or he got to go out like this. I can't
Yeah.
see him going out like just being 8-9 or 9-8. But if you have a chance that they make it to this, and this, and it's like, oh my God, the year was so crazy, I'm staying. Okay, but if it's like the year was horrible like last year, I got to come back. So I think, yeah.
I'm
My
just
two-
ready. I'm ready for him to retire and for him to do his show where he travels to like remote villages and drinks their weird herbal
I
drugged up teas with them and goes on spiritual journeys
I
in
want him.
their
I
wanna
want
do
him
that
back
with
on
him. That sounds
Jeopardy. I
fun.
want him back on
He's good on
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
He's
I liked
awesome
him.
on Jeopardy.
I think if he had
Yeah,
gotten that
yeah.
job, he wouldn't have come back. But they gave him the
Yeah,
show, so
I think they gave him the job, but he was like, I want to come back and finish. I think he had to prove. Think about it. His whole career has been trying to prove people wrong.
yeah.
From being drafted
Oh,
like really
that is a
late
man with a
to
chip on his shoulder. I
the
loved him as a
biggest
Packers
chip
fan.
ever. The biggest chip ever. The biggest chip ever. So he still got a chip. So it's according to how this
Yeah.
year go.
He always.
But my two AFC teams this year to keep an eye on. I think they're both 2-0. The Jets and the Chargers. Keep an eye on the Chargers. Potentially a deep playoff run out of both these teams.
Why you gotta pick my college team's old coach and my NFL team's old quarterback?
Man, if the Bears had hired Harbaugh, we'd be 2-0 right now. But we're gonna stick with Eberflus, who can't coach a D2 team. But anyways, all right, we gotta wrap this thing up. It's been a lot of fun. We're 2 weeks in, week 3 about to start. John, it's awesome to have you on whenever you're willing to come on. It's great.
We'll
You
take it.
always
And
drop the
I'm
knowledge.
excited to see your sideline interviews with
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah,
Me
we're gonna
too.
check that
Me
out.
too. Hey, I was on a side note. I was on Pictionary today.
I saw something about that. Yeah, you're doing
Yeah, I
Pictionary,
was
right?
on Pictionary. I didn't even watch the show. I can talk about it now though. We lost, right? But we lost with Acorn. Like we lost with Acorn, bro. Like it was like no. The celebrity we had up there, he said seedling. And I ain't never said seedling in my damn life. Like I've never used the word
Yeah,
seedling.
what is that?
So,
Yeah.
no,
What's not? I would think
Jared
like bean
O'Connor.
sprouts, not a fucking acorn.
No, he drew a tree and he drew like something falling from the tree. And he was like seedling. And me and my sister look at each other like, what the fuck? but it was an acorn, but it was a bad drawing by Jerry. But it was just like
You draw
I
a
had fun though.
squirrel
I had
with
fun.
something in its
Yeah.
hands, and then you
Just draw a
point to
fucking
it.
squirrel.
No, you literally just draw effing acorn. Like it's not hard. You draw a U and draw a little cap on it.
With little crisscrosses on the top. Yeah.
You know, all you gotta do is draw a
With a
little
hat
U
on it.
and draw a cap on it. Like a little hat. You draw a little hat like this, and I
My
would
man
got
is not an artist. Got it.
Oh my God, I was so pissed off. So we lost. I wasn't really worried about it.
Seedling. The fuck.
No, he said, but I ain't gonna lie, but he got all the stuff correct first. So he kind of the reason why we got that far. But the ceiling just I want to chop him in his throat muscle. I literally want to chop him in his throat muscle.
Just had a little bit of a brain fart there, I guess.
Any future Pictionary endeavors, and we'll be paying attention in your post game for Falcons Chiefs, and hope to have you on back next week and covering the season along with us all season long. So thanks for coming on. Everyone, appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow along. and let us know what you think. Peace out, guys.